through the years, I have known women who did have sex with men very readily, and that was either due to ignorance. They thought that men are like us, i.e., I have sex with him and it's the start of a relationship. So that's a not knowing. And then they learn to wait. The other case is women who know this, but they don't value themselves. I know women who were sexually abused as children, okay, or who were devalued by their mothers, or who were abandoned by their fathers. And even though they've done work on themselves, and you might find them in tantra classes or personal development classes, they still haven't internalized their value, and they will be very quick to have sex. They will be very quick to have sex. They will be very quick to jump into relationships. But what they want is a relationship. They end up with men who are narcissistic, who use them, who devalue them, who use them just for sex. They don't end up with high quality men. These types of women don't end up with high quality men. And some of them were very nice. I've been friends with these women. But about a year ago, I stopped letting women like that into my life. I don't want to be with women who are so casual. Around their sexuality. I'm way past that, and I don't want to be around women who complain about how some guy broke their heart or hasn't texted them back, and I had sex with him and he didn't call me, and like, I went through all that after my divorce, and I just don't want to hear it. If they want to do it in a coaching session, that's different, but not as my friends. I don't want to be exposed to that drama and that trauma, because they brought it on and they're reliving their pain, and they're not valuing themselves, and they haven't learned. So I don't want that energy. Yes, and now another friend comes to mind. Yes, I had sex with this guy, Burning Man, a woman in her 40s. It was so great. He hasn't called me since. And she's like upset. These women are very upset. Why doesn't he want to date me? Why isn't he calling me? That's what women do. That's what women do. And, but yet they keep repeating it because they don't see their pattern. They keep thinking this guy will be different. But he won't be, because until women learn to value themselves and learn that they can attract a man based on their company, that there are other aspects of them that a man can fall in love with. They don't have to throw out the sexual dynamite immediately. That they can build emotional intimacy first, to slow things down. It's really good to slow things down, to be able to relate to someone other than sexually. Another thing about these women who have sex with men right away, they get bored very easily sexually in the relationship. And within 3 months, they're already trying to have threesomes to explore, their sexuality and take it to the next level or whatever. I kind of have a problem with people who get bored that easily sexually. My husband and I never felt the need for a threesome. I don't have that need for a threesome. I wouldn't want a threesome in a relationship. Like, I would just get jealous, honestly. And I would, I'm just more easily satisfied. I'm not so dissatisfied. Those are just some things I've seen. I also knew someone who was sexually raped by her father for many years as a young teenager. And she had to, she didn't talk to her parents for years. And then she wanted to rebond with her mother. But remember, the mother was the one who allowed all this, didn't say a word, and still pushed it under the table. And she told her daughter, there's nothing worse than someone who's supposed to protect you throwing you under the bus. And she told her daughter, we can have a relationship again as long as you allow your father also into your life. This woman would tell me I'd go to my parents' house at dinner and I would have to sit next to my dad, and made my skin crawl. No wonder. She was a successful professional woman. She was very heavily on narcotics though, because she's traumatized. She had a lot of issues with her bladder, and she would date women and men both. I think that's kind of a red flag when they date men and women both. Kind of, it could be they're not sure what they want. And she would go through a relationship every 3 weeks. She would bond very quickly with people she met online. She's very pretty and very sweet. And then she would discard them. And it would be, I remember this one time, and these people would all fall for her. And she would introduce them to her parents. And her father was very high up in the city they lived in the city council. They were well-to-do. And that one time she told us, hey, that she had just started dating this woman. Sometimes it was a woman, sometimes it was a man. And she told us, I'm going out of town with my girlfriend this weekend, and we're going to exchange rings, promise rings. And when I get home, I'm going to break up with her. And that's what she did. She went on the trip. I was following her on Facebook. They had their pictures exchanging their promise rings. And that evening she came home and broke up. And the woman was devastated. So that's what I'm talking about, trauma. I know intercourse was painful for her. She would always get urinary tract infections, and that was all to her sexual abuse. She ended up having to go into a rehab. I don't know what happened to her. I'm not friends with her anymore. There's another woman I met, and this woman that I'm talking about was in her mid-40s at the time. There's another woman who hooked up a lot. I met her when she was married. She was hooking up a lot until her early 40s. She said she would use men for sex and then leave them because she liked discarding them. She would try to get them to like her, and then she would try to hurt them by leaving them. She said that to her sex was only physical, and she was very walled off. And then she met her now husband, and with him it was the first time that she really trusted, and that she really opened, and that she learned to be in her heart, and that she fell in love, and that she actually had real sex, so much better sex than when she was coming from that wounded place of just making it physical. So I've also heard of women who just have crazy sex with you right away. They meet you, they love bomb you, their sex is crazy and fabulous, and within a week you realize that they're psycho, borderline personality disorder. I also know that on college campuses, many women hook up. They get drunk, they hook up, and that's all they want. They were drunk fucking. So these are some examples of women who hook up. I don't know of any women who are emotionally healthy, who feel loved and value themselves, who go, I just want to fuck. That's all I want. I don't know. I'm sure it could happen. I'm sure there are outliers. But when you're going around looking for friends with benefits, you're not going to end up finding a high-value woman who values herself. You're going to be left with the discards. You're going to be left with women who are drunk, who don't value their children, who leave their children to go find men to hook up with, who were sexually abused, who use sex as a way to manipulate you or get you into a relationship, who have sex with you thinking that they can just have sex with you, but they deep down want a relationship. They're using sex to get a relationship with you. Who are emotionally walled off and traumatized. You're not going to get full access to a sensual woman and feminine energy when you're just spinning plates, because a woman just in a friends with benefits situation is not thriving, and she's not opening herself fully to you. You're not getting what you can be getting. And some men don't want all of that. You know, I watch there's some men even in their 30s, they're successful and good looking, and they don't want a relationship. They just, I can smash, I can get women I can smash. And they're walled off. And if they get a woman like me, probably a younger version of me, that woman is not going to be very happy. She's going to be like, where's this going? Can I see you again? And he's not going to like that. He's going to cut her off. And he's never going to experience the depths of what's possible with a woman or in a relationship. There are a lot of wounded people around. And of course, we have outliers too. But I want to wake people up to the fact that an integrated woman who is in her feminine energy and loves herself, she's not looking for smashing. She's looking for a relationship with really good sex. And they want really good sex. They want it to be really good. And it is really good when she feels loved, valued, and appreciated. Because in a hookup, it's never really that good. But I want to know what you think. I want to know if you know any women who are of my caliber or the caliber of the women watching this video, by which I mean sober, loving herself, confident, authentic, passionate, up to something in life, got something going on, not needy, who likes men and likes to be feminine and nourish a man, a woman, a real woman I'm speaking of, not a damaged woman or an alcoholic or a woman who hates men. If you know any women like that who love hooking up, I would like to know, because I want to learn, and I think these discussions are really valuable. And I don't know everything. So I'm just making videos based on what I perceive, and what I perceive could be actually me tuning into the reality of the world, but it could also be just how I see things based on, the people I choose to be around and how I perceive the world. Because I haven't done any studies. This is just me. And what's one thing though too is that there is a thing about studies and there's a thing about intuiting. But there's also whether you do studies or you intuit, people's own personal biases can get in the way of the study or the intuiting. So I don't always think studies are that reliable, because researchers, depending on where they get their funding or their own desired outcome, can misinterpret the data, and taint the study. And when people intuit something, it could be just their own projection too. But I think these are interesting ideas to discuss. And at the very least, these videos I'm making give you an opportunity to tune into your own feelings about what you want and what you really desire. And what I'm proposing, I think, moves us forward towards more intimacy, not less, because jumping into bed with someone right away shows an inability to take things slow, let things develop. Like a souffle, needs time to rise, and it bypasses getting to know someone and emotional intimacy. Because women who were never valued by their fathers just for being don't know they can be valued just for being. They think they're valued for doing. So they go into work and try to be successful at work. They have sex right away. It's all doing. They don't know how to be. And for a woman to really enjoy sex and surrender, we're opening and we're receptive. And these women who are hooking up, I don't think that they're receptive at all. I think that they're being in a controlling position sexually. They want to be in charge. They want to be on top. I doubt any of these women are laying on the bottom saying, I love how you feel on top of me. And are okay with that and never want to see you again. But hey, if you disagree and have a different experience, I want to hear from you. Thank you for watching my video.